Hello and welcome to The Champions. I am Monalisa Dube, and in this program we celebrate individuals that have made great strides in the different sectors of the country. Today I'm joined by a phenomenal woman, Zodwa Mkandla, who has become a favorite for many people. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
So we are going to talk about your business at the better part of the program, but we want to get to know you on a more personal level. Tell us a bit more about your upbringing, where you've come from, etc.
I was born in a place called Bubi in Matabeleland, 40 kilometers from Bulawayo, in a small area called Mbembesi. We are the Fingo people, as they call us. We are Xhosa of origin. I went to school at a place called Mqwassini Primary School in the Bundus, in the village. We would walk a good 20 kilometers every morning, going to school with no shoes in the cold weather. And it was quite a challenging experience compared to what things are now. But that's where I was born, that's where I was brought up, that's where I come from, that's where my roots are. I'm proud to come from there and to be associated with my fellow people from Mbembesi. Then I left Mbembesi when I was in grade 7. I only came to Harare to do my Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, then moved back to Bulawayo again. Came back to do my diplomas in Harare, 1990, and then finished. And then...
so you were in between Harare and...
I was in between Harare and Bulawayo. I did my primary school in Bulawayo, then came to Harare. Then my father was transferred to be an ambassador in Angola when I was in Form 3, so I had to move back to Bulawayo. Then when I finished my secondary education, then I came back to start to do a diploma in tourism.
Right.
That's when my journey began.
Okay, but look at you now. No one can even tell where your roots are. Tell us about the transition into who you have become now from, you've given us a background of your education and now you run your own business. How did that come about?
Okay, after my diploma with Spaces College, I went to work for a company called Express Motorways selling bus tickets. I think, well, most of you are very young. I don't think you even remember Express Motorways. But it was a luxury coach then. Right. It was Express Motorways and Greyhound. It was actually a very elite position to have, to be working for Express Motorways. Young girls back then used to fight to go and get a job at Express Motorways. But unfortunately, I don't know what happened to it, they folded. And then Express Motorways, I went to a company called SKF Zimbabwe. I'm sure they are still existing. The company used to sell bearings. I went there as a receptionist. From being a receptionist, I was a cardex clerk. And then that's when I was identified by one of the ladies who owned a travel agents and took me in to work at their travel agents as a receptionist. I started from the bottom, going up as a receptionist, I think for the first 2 years. Then I was a junior consultant. I was an intermediate, then until I was a senior consultant. After 4 years of working for this company, I moved to another one where it was, I think it was so comfortable working for the travel agents at the first company that I was working with. I was like, I felt at home because maybe the lady was from Bulawayo, she was very nice. So when I moved to the next company, I thought, like they say, it's always greener on the other side of the fence. Until you get there, you see it's not all that green. At least that's what I thought then. So this lady, I worked for her, her name is Nikki Blythewood. She had a company called The Travel Company. Very big travel agents. She was very tough, very, very tough. And I thought she was very arrogant and all that. I never actually used to think that she was mean. I didn't know that she was grooming me to be a better person.
Right.
So I learned quite a lot from her. But when I was in her company, I thought she was a mean woman. I didn't like her. I worked for 6 months, then I left. I went to work for someone else. I didn't like it, and then I left. I changed 4 or 5 jobs within a space of a year.
Could it be because you were young and you were expecting everything to be all rosy?
Yes, I was expecting everything to be like what it was on my first job as a traveler when I started. That's what I expected. I didn't know that people operated differently. And I think also I was not mature enough to understand how businesses were run and that people could run their businesses differently. So I expected the same treatment I got from my first employer. So I thought everyone else was going to be the same. So I ended up, I think I changed about 4 or 5 jobs in 1 year. I ended up with one Australian man called, I think the company was called Williams Travel. That was where I ended up. Right. When I was at Williams Travel, and then I would work during the day. In the evenings, I would go to Spaces College to teach IATA. I was teaching a part-time lecturer at Spaces College teaching IATA, the course that I had done. I'd attained for my consultancy. When I was at Spaces College, I then met one gentleman who I was teaching. He was one of my students. They were a freight company. Then they said, okay, since you are already working as a travel agent and you are teaching us this, why don't we start our own business?
Together with your student?
Together with my student. Well, he was a big boss. He had his own monies and all that. And for me, I said, oh, wow, here's an opportunity. That was 1999. So I went back to the office to my boss at the company where I was working. She was a black lady. The company was white owned by an Australian guy. There was a lady called Matilda who was my manager. Then I went and told her, look, this is the person that I met.
Right.
He wants to start a travel agency, but I'm scared to go alone. Can we go together? And these guys, they look like they've got money. We had an interview with them, went to meet them, and they sold us a dream. So we took it on. We started our own travel agency. So
you left your job and you started your own
Yes, we started our own travel agency called Real Travel and Tours then, 1999 into 2000. I was, she was the CEO. The other guy was the finance director. I was the marketing director. We started that company for 3 years. We were very happy. Did very well. The travel agents grew from zero to, it was one of the best travel agents in the country. But me being me, I felt that there were too many partners in a travel agency. It's not, yes, fine, there's so many, there's volumes and you'll make the money, but I felt like we're just too many partners, and I felt that there was a need for me to branch aside and start something of my own. 3 years later, which was 2003, that's when I started Traverze Travel. I moved out from there. I went to start my travel agency.
And we are going to talk a bit more about your company, how it's grown and what you're doing now. But I'm sure the ladies would want to know, Zodwa. I mean, if your social media is anything to judge by, you are always looking on point. How many pairs of shoes do you have?
Wow. I've got enough shoes. Well, I've got enough shoes to wear for the whole year without repeating a pair.
So that's like over 365, 66 if it's a leap year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm taking it you also have a closet to complement the shoes?
Yes.
What inspires your fashion sense?
First, in terms of shoes, you guys might say there are so many. There are not that many considering my age. You know,
accumulated over the years.
Yes, they're not shoes that I just woke up with. I've been buying over the time, over the years.
That's comforting.
Yes, I changed some, I replaced. You know, it's not like shoes that I've like bought in 1 year.
Yeah.
I've bought them over the years. Even my clothes, I've bought them over the years.
But how do you deal with trends? Because you know trends come and go, and some shoe might be fashionable now, but next year it might not be as trendy. How do you handle that? You keep them anyway?
The trends, they come and go and they come back again. So you might find shoes that we wore 2000, we thought now 2020 they're not trendy, but they've come back. So if you had bought them and kept them in the closet, you can take them out now. They're now trendy. But people are buying them now, but I bought them back then. But now remember, with our age, our feet doesn't grow. It remains the same. So that's the advantage. And also, if you're buying high quality shoes,
right,
they don't wear off. They don't wear out. Yeah, they're always there. They're always looking good. And because I've got so many of them, I don't get to wear the same shoe every day, so it doesn't get torn. So every time I wear it, it looks new. Like this one, for example, I think I bought this shoe it's more than 5 years old, but it looks like I've just worn it today.
And the block is back.
It is back, yes. But I bought it so many years back when the blocks were there. But in the past years, we were wearing thin heels and all that. But the blocks are back now. Platforms are back now. But you guys, I'm sure you never got to wear these blocks and never got to wear platforms. But you're going to wear them now. 10 years from today, they might be out of fashion, but they'll come back again.
That's a trick, ladies. Keep all the shoes.
Yeah, keep the shoes. Well, also don't keep keep some and give some away.
Absolutely.
So you find that I give out a lot, and I also get blessed a lot. So every time I give a pair or two, a friend will come with another pair for me. So, Zodwa, I traveled, I bought this for you. So it's not the shoes that I have, I didn't buy all of them. Some of them I get them from my friends, they buy them for me on birthdays, as gifts and things like that, because they know that I love shoes. So when someone, like it's my birthday, they know, what can we buy, Zodwa? The only thing that she loves is shoes and perfume.
Right.
So you find a friend who always buy me a pair of shoes or a bottle of perfume.
So women shouldn't be under pressure whatsoever to feel the need to
No.
to stock up shoes, etc.
You shouldn't stock up because you might stock up what you don't like. Some stock up on bags, some stock up on different things, some stock up on books. People have got different passions in life. People love different things. I love shoes. So I avoid, if I travel, I avoid going to the malls because if I go, I'll come back with 4 or 5 pairs of shoes. And sometimes you find that I have 2 of the same shoe because I've not worn it for so long. And then you sit in the shop, you buy it again, you forget you have it. And then you go back home, you say, but this shoe, I've got it. Even my daughters now, we wear the same things now. You find them wearing something that's, but that is mine.
Right.
Says, no, mommy, it's not about, no, I know that, I bought that. So, you know.
I like how your face brightened up when you're speaking about fashion. So towards the end of the program, I'm going to ask you to give ladies a few fashion tips. But while we're still on a personal, when you're talking about personal issues about you, maybe tell us about what your favorite type of food is and your favorite musician, your favorites.
I'm a very traditional girl, so I love my traditional food. So I would eat Traverze, I will eat my roadrunner, I will eat maguru, zvinyenze especially. I love zvinyenze. So I would buy a whole mbudzi and then just remove zvinyenze and eat only that and give the people to eat the whole beast. So I love my traditional food. When it comes to music, I love my local music. Traverze has been my favorite artist for so many years.
How are you liking the new album?
You know, at 3 a.m. I found myself listening to it and I sent Traverze a message that, well done.
Right.
You know, he's maturing with age.
Absolutely.
He's doing extremely well. I don't know how he comes up with these songs. He's got a new album every other week. You know, he's doing extremely well. I love his music. I love his music.
I'm glad that we got the personal out of the way and we've lightened it up for you, and we now know a bit more about you as Zodwa. So we're going to take a quick break, and then thereafter we'll continue with the conversation and we talk more about Traverze and how it's grown. And we also want to thank our sponsors that have made this program possible. We'd like to thank Crystal Lodge, Amtech Motors, as well as Adam Bede and Rossum Properties. We'll be back on the other side of this. Thank you for staying with us here on The Champions. I'm Monalisa Dube, and today we are joined by Zodwa Mkandla, and she's going to be telling us a bit more about her business in this segment. But we want to thank our sponsors once again for making this program possible. We want to thank Crystal Lodge, Amtech Motors, Adam Bede, as well as Rossum Properties for helping us share these champions' stories. Now, before the break, Zodwa, we spoke about a number of things, and you also took us through the journey on how you actually came to build Traverze, which has become which has been now associated with luxury traveling, and one of the first to actually have a lounge in the Robert Mugabe International Airport. How has the journey been for you, and how did you get your business to grow to where it is today?
I think for us as a company, our priority is giving our clients the best service, giving them an experience, how it is like from when they call us to make a booking, making the booking, the traveling experience. We make it a journey, we make it an experience for them to enjoy it, an experience that they cannot get anywhere else when they're starting their travel from Zimbabwe. We're the only travel agents in the country that has a lounge, a luxury lounge, not just an ordinary lounge, a 5-star lounge at the Harare International Airport.
How did that happen?
Robert Mugabe, sorry, International Airport. We wanted to be different from all the other travel agents. So we looked, what is it that we can do that is different? What is it that is different from what all other travel agencies are giving? So you find that is an added advantage for us as a travel agency to have an office at the airport, to assist our clients with check-in, to assist the clients that, you know, when they delay or they want to change their tickets, they don't have to come all the way to town or be phoning us. They just walk into our offices at the airport, then their tickets are changed for them. We pre-check our clients in at the airport. And then after checking them in, business class lounges at airports are known for business class ticket holders only.
Right.
But what we have done is any client that has bought a ticket from Traverze Travel, whether business class, first class or economy class, that ticket is a passport to the lounge.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's what we do for our clients. So we find that is the added advantage that you have or you get if you book your ticket through us.
Why did you think that inclusivity is important despite which ticket a person holds?
Because we thought that, you know, most lounges at the airport, they make a client pay. So we wanted to give our clients the comfort that it's not about money, it's about the relationship that we build to our clients. So it's not about the money that they pay, that they bring to us, it's about the relationship that we have with our clients. That's why we give that service for free to all our clients.
So I know that you did say that initially when you ventured into business, when you moved away from being an employee, you started a business with a number of people, and you said that you would begin to get uncomfortable and actually moved out to start Traverze today. What were some of the challenges that you faced as you took this solo road into business, especially being a woman in this space?
When we started Traverze Travel, I can't say it was difficult, because what happened with me, unlike most businesses when startups, I had clients that believed in my vision. I had clients who believed that I could do it as an individual.
Right.
So I approached those clients that, guys, look, I don't have money, I don't have financial capacity to start up, but I want to start up. So one of my major clients, who's still my client up to today, they said to me, you know what, we believe in you, we know that you're going to make it. How much do you think you need to start up your business? I did my business plan, my cash flows, everything, that for the first 3-4 months, how much I needed. And they advanced me, they did an advance payment for the tickets that they were going to use 3-4 months later. They said, okay, fine, this is how much we are going to give you. We're paying you in advance. When we want to travel, please make sure that the tickets are available. We're trusting in you.
Wow.
We're trusting our company, we're trusting the money with you, that look, when the time comes for us to travel, you are going to be able to give us the tickets. And because I didn't want to disappoint them, I made sure by the time that they wanted to travel, Traverze was something else. We started in September 2003.
Right.
And I remember we have our yearly awards at the end of the year. In only 3 months, we were in the top 10 selling travel agents, competing with people that had sold for the whole calendar year.
Yeah.
So we were able to start up without having to physically borrow, but we used clients' money that we then retained after the 3 months when they were ready to travel. So from that time on up to today, those clients, they've been with us. And I think it's giving clients, what clients want is comfort and loyalty and very efficient service. That's what they've always wanted. So that's what we've been giving since that time. So we pride ourselves with giving the shortest turnaround time for our clients. So we find that they don't have to call us twice, 3 times to get a booking done or any inquiry.
I like that because a lot of companies, you have to constantly follow up, etc. And I know that it comes down to your employees as well, because you might not be there all the time. So what sort of training have you given to your employees to make sure that they actually live by your vision and your motto?
We continuously take them for training almost twice a year, so that they remember what they're there for, what they remember they're there to serve. To us, all our customers are kings. It doesn't matter whether you're buying a bus ticket or a train ticket, or you're renting a car, or you're buying an economy class or a first class ticket. We treat all our clients the same. So it's very important when a client calls in, or they call in physically, or they make a phone call or send an email, they know, the consultants, that these clients have to be responded to immediately. And what we do in terms of salaries, they don't just wait for a salary. They know that they eat what they kill.
So they're on commission.
Yes, they're on commission based. So the more you sell, the more money you also take home. So because of that, you find that they're always in competition with each other to say who's going to produce
competition
more.
I hope.
Very good. No, very good competition. Because it doesn't help if it's not good, because then you lose the clients. You find that most of the clients that we've had since inception, we still have them up to today. We've lost some, yes, but most of them, the major clients, we've maintained them since 2003 up to today.
What's in the name Traverze?
To be quite honest with you, I don't know what Traverze means. When I started the business, I remember when you're opening a company, they tell you to give 3 names to the register of companies, then they choose. I took in so many times, more than 10 times, they were declining all the names. So I just opened the dictionary, and then it came a name, Traverze. It had an S, so I just changed the S to a Z. Then it became Traverze.
It sounds fancy, though.
It sounds very fancy. It's, I always tell people that it's Italian, Portuguese, you know.
Oh, you put out the secret.
Yes, you know. Well, they know.
It's out there. Okay, so I know we've spoken about your business and the luxury, etc. So what other services do you provide? I think that we might actually give you this opportunity to tell us a bit more, apart from actually making people book plane tickets, etc. What other services do you provide as Traverze?
Okay, as it's the whole, like when someone books a ticket, they're going to need accommodation where they're going. They're going to need airport transfers. They're going to need, they will do tours or sightseeing, or depending on the destination they're going to. So we provide all those services. We'll take them shopping, depending on the destination. We'll take them for excursions, depending on the destination. Like if they went to Cape Town, for example, we'll book a Robben Island tour, we'll book the Table Mountain tour, the Guardian Route tour, all those things we give them to our clients. Depending on the destination that they're taking. But it's all there for them. We'll book their accommodation. We also will manage conferences. Suppose you've got clients that want to go for conferences with their customers, or we'll book the conference facilities and manage their conferences for them as well.
Okay, so now you have, from 2003 you said, you're now approaching 2 decades. What's the, do you think it has become what you have always envisioned it to be? Or you're still targeting for more and to be better? I
think, like I've always told the people that I work with at the office, that guys, I think I have done my part at Traverze Travel. I've given it my all. I think it has reached the peak that I can take it to as Zodwa. So we need the young people to come in now and take over from where I left, because like it's now the IT world. When we started, we were doing everything manually, and the youth of today, they've been taught to do it the IT way. So I want to leave it to them to take over from where I left from, and maybe take it to an online travel agency where people don't have to come to us. They just click the button and do everything online, pay online, and everything's done online. That's where I would want to see Traverze going. Anyway, that is where we're going. That's where the world is going now. With all this COVID and everything happening, people don't have to meet to book tickets. They don't have to come to our offices. They just have to go onto our website and book their tickets. The payment portal is there, everything is there, do everything online. That is where I want Traverze Travel to end up. I don't want to be going to the office. I don't want anyone to be going to the office. Maybe the accounts people, they can be doing that and to reconcile and do everything that they need to do. But as a business, I want it to be able to be like the sky scanners, the flight scanners, the price liners on the internet, where you just go there and look for the cheapest fares, and then you book your fares online.
So I take it you're roping in a lot of young people to come into the company and make these improvements.
We've actually started a call center that are specializing on that already. We started this, we're supposed to have launched our online travel agency last year, but because of COVID, then we were slowed down. But we're actually on the advanced stages of launching.
Speaking of the pandemic, speaking of COVID-19, it's been, the tourism industry has been one of the hardest hitters, the hard hit by COVID-19 across the world. Yeah. And companies, especially airlines, have lost billions of dollars. To what extent has that affected your business? It has
affected us all, because remember, the airlines, if they've lost billions, we are selling a product of the airlines. So if airlines are not flying, then it means we also can't sell.
Right.
So we've ventured into selling local tourism now. That's what we're concentrating on. Instead of people going to maybe Paris, going to Dubai on holidays, they must go. We've got so many destinations in Zimbabwe itself. So that's what we're doing now, trying to see how best can we make money out of what we have. Zimbabwe is a very beautiful country. It's a very beautiful destination. Us, ourselves as Zimbabweans, even if I asked you right now how many people have been to Victoria Falls itself, how many people have been to Kariba, how many people have been to Bubi, how many people have been to Wangi, maybe one out of the whole room have been. Yet we've got our own tourist destinations that we only allow outsiders to come and see. They come to Zimbabwe to visit these destinations, and yet as Zimbabweans, we don't know what we have as a country. Our country's got beautiful tourist destinations. So that's what we are working on now, to make sure we educate ourselves about our own country.
We're going to continue the conversation with Zodwa here. Right now we take a quick break, but again we want to express our gratitude to our sponsors, Adam Bede, Binomi, Crystal Lodge, as well as Rossum Properties and Tech Motors. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us here on The Champions. I'm Monalisa Dube, and would want to thank our sponsors for making this program possible. Tech Motors, would like to thank Adam Bede, Binomi, as well as Rossum Properties. Now, we've spoken about a number of things, Zodwa. You've taken us through your life story, your business as well, and you've also had to juggle all this. I mean, life doesn't stop. You also are a mother. You also are a believer. How do you balance everything?
It hasn't been an easy journey. I had to travel maybe 3-4 times a week when we started the business. As much as it was doing well, but the money, you know, with every business, you don't start making money the
instantly.
First year. I think we started making money after starting in 2003. We started making real money maybe 2008. Wow. So in between, children have to go to school, you have to feed, you have to pay salaries. So I used to go to Dubai a lot to go and buy computers, laptops for resale. So I would travel maybe 2-3 times every week to go to Dubai, buy things, resell, put in the business, do this, do that, and at the same time the kids were at boarding school. So I resorted to taking my children to boarding school from a very young age. Like the youngest, she started boarding school from grade 1. The elder one, I think she was in grade 3 when she went to boarding school. So the reason why I took them to boarding school, it wasn't because I didn't want them to, I didn't want them at home. It's because I wanted to allow myself time. When I traveled, I wanted them to be at school because at least they'll be able to be taught their homework and all that. Then I made a point that every weekend I'm always at home. I didn't travel weekends. They were weekly boarders. They'll come home every weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was at home with them. Try and bond with the kids and all that, go to church, you know, all those things. And I was even married then. I think I was still married, and you know, it wasn't easy, but I had to make sure I manage the kids, the husband, the business. And I think I'd also pulled out at some stage from teaching at Spaces College. I started my own college in the house. So students were now coming home to learn. I was teaching them the same International Air Travel Association at home. But during the week, it was pure work from the agency to teaching students. I also enrolled at Polytechnic. I learned how to bake. I learned how to cook. I used to do wedding cakes. I would do birthday cakes and all that. So I think I've always been an entrepreneur from a very young age. So I would sell cakes every weekend, do wedding cakes, learned how to make dresses and things like that. So I did so many things at once until I then said, okay, fine, what is it that I love out of everything? And I remained with the travel agency.
Let's talk a bit about your relationship with the late Janimbi. How did you meet, and how would you describe your relationship?
Okay, I met Genius 2000 and I think 2008. We met at the airport. He was picking someone. I was, I think, also arriving from somewhere. Genius was always very playful person, and he started talking. Oh, how are you? What's your name? This and that. Started talking. We exchanged numbers. Because I exchanged numbers because he knew I'm a traveler. He says, "Oh, I want to travel a lot." So, because I always wanted clients, so anyone who wanted to do business with me, my number was easily available. So he started chatting me up. He will call every day, come to my office, and all that. And I really didn't like him as a man.
Which year was this?
2008. No. Actually, prior that, I met Genius. I think 2005. That was the first encounter. So he was chatting me up
for 3 years.
For 3 years. It took him 3 years for me to finally agree that, okay, fine, let's give it a trial. He was one person that, for me, he was so young, and
how much younger was he?
He was so loud, and I could never see myself dating him because I just said, this boy from the village, you know. That's how I looked at him. This village boy, what do you want, this village boy? And every time he met me, believe me, for the next week, he'll be coming to my office every day. Then he'll give up and go. But if he bumps into me again, he starts again for a week. You know, for a week. Sometimes you'll come in through the front door, I come out from the back door. I ran away from him for 3 years. So one day we met at Nyaradzo Funeral Services. I think his grandfather had passed on, and a client of mine had passed on. So we met there and started talking. And for one reason or the other, he invited me to his grandmother's funeral. I said, okay, fine, don't worry, I'll come. It's a funeral. Let me go.
After all, it is a funeral.
It's just a funeral. I mean, look, I never thought anything was going to come out of that funeral. So he takes me to his house, says, oh, this is my house. Meet my friends, the people he was staying with the Farai. Zin, that's his best friend for life. They've always been friends. So I went there, I get introduced. Oh, my guru, my guru, whatever. You know, you know, he was always like that. So little did I know that was the beginning of something. So we went to the funeral. When I got there, I was introduced to the mother, to the father. Everything just happened so fast. So after the burial the following day, he invited me to a party with his friends. From there, we went to Jestemba. We had such a good time, and the rest is history. But
so what then eventually drew you to him, considering that you had already ruled him out as a partner like that?
I don't know. I think I don't know what happened at that funeral. I think the reception I got from the family at the funeral and all that. And then I started thinking about him in a different angle. I saw him as a different person, the respect that he was given and the maturity in him. He was young. He was actually how many years? 11 years younger than me. He was quite young, but in age, but very mature. He had brains of a 60-year-old man. So he was quite a mature guy. And that, I think, is what attracted me to him, because he was very mature in terms of, eventually, after getting to know him more. Because we then now were friends, and then I think every good relationship is built out of friendship. Because if you're not friends, I don't think the relationship will work.
What would you say you miss the most about him?
You know, he was always there for me. He was always there for me. You know, anything that I wanted, even after we had broken up, we still remained as friends. I would call on him anytime. I would call if I had a tire puncture. He'll either come himself or send someone to come and help me. I've got a problem at home, oh, there's a plumbing problem, there's this and this. He was always there. As much as that's why most of the people don't know. They never believed that we actually even broke up.
Right.
Yet, the time of his passing, it had been 2 years since we had separated. But because the friendship remained, we visited each other. He would come to my house, I would go to his house. My kids adored him, they loved him, they remained. That relationship, I never interfered between my kids and him.
Regardless of what had happened between the two.
Their own relationship. They were quite, especially with the younger girl, they were very tight. They really loved each other.
Right.
So they remained as friends. She was very heartbroken when he passed. I'm sure both of them were, but the younger one more, which was more affected, because I think she was maybe 6 years when I met Genius. So she's actually, he was the father figure that was with her throughout upbringing.
So when you, I know you've shared a lot of personal stories about your life, etc. What would you want a young person to learn from all of this, from who Zodwa is? I know that with young people, sometimes they get carried away with all the fashion and the shoes, but there's always a story behind, which is why we have you here to share the story. What could be the one thing that you'd want a young person to take out from your story?
I think they mustn't think that they come easy. Because easy come, easy go. Everybody starts from somewhere. There is a background. They must try and find the background of every individual that they admire or that they want to be mentored by. Because some people, they think, oh, I want you to be my mentor. They are seeing a polished product.
Right.
But they don't know where I've come from. They don't know what I've gone through to be where I am today. So they must start from where it begins. They must not want to be billionaires overnight. It doesn't happen. If you win a lotto. Young girls of today, they just want the lights. They don't know where it's come from.
The glitz and the glamour.
The glitz and the glam, that's what they want. And their lifestyle is all about the Instagram, social media, and all that. Most of the things on social media, they're fake. Most of the things are, there are very few people on social media that live their real lives the way they live them. But because of Instagram, they want more followers, they want all these things, and someone will come, oh, I want to be a Zozo of tomorrow. I want to be a Zozo of that. They don't know where I've come from. Maybe what I'm posting on social media is not the real me. It's not my real life. It's somebody else's life. I want to imitate someone else's life. People must be real. Be real about yourself. Be real about who you are. Be real about what you want to achieve in life as an individual. I've taught my kids that if anything was to happen to me today, I don't want my kids to say, oh, these were Zodwa's children and they're now suffering. I've taught them to be able to start their own business at a very young age. If something was to happen to me today, God forbid, they should be able to live the same lifestyle that I've given them, or even better. They should be able to get people to be mentored by people that have made it in life. They shouldn't be children that want to own things that they don't know how they were achieved. Right. They shouldn't want to own, oh, our mother drives a G-Wagon. How did she get that G-Wagon? Was she bought by a boyfriend? Most people want things bought by men. It is very possible to achieve. Sorry, I get very passionate when I talk about the young kids. They like to just own things that are bought by men. What happens if that man drops dead tomorrow? Take, for example, I was staying with Genius for all this time. He had money, he had everything, we had all the cars. There's no cars that we did not drive.
Right.
But suppose he died, or when I left him and I didn't have my own money, I was not a business person myself, where would I have started from? I would have been stuck in that relationship because I'm wanting to benefit what he's giving me.
But do you think our society is there already?
Our society is there, it's been there, it's there already. But we still have those girls that want to be looked after by a man. We still have those girls that are lazy, that think being beautiful is everything. Yet, by the time they get to an age of maybe 30, if you're beautiful at 18, 19, by the time you're 30, you look like a gogo. Most of them, by the time they're 30, they look like Ghana gogo, and
So
no man will be
beauty
looking at
shouldn't
you.
be the only thing
It
they're
shouldn't,
depending
we
on.
must be beauty with brains. Yes, I'm beautiful. What do I have to offer?
Right.
Just being beautiful, just sitting there, being a part of the furniture in the house. That's all I'm doing my nails, Netflix. That's all they do. What happens if that man doesn't come back home? He left in the morning going to the office. He's no more. Where do you start from?
Absolutely.
Where do you, and the kids. Remember, when your partner dies, there are kids involved. And you don't know what, you don't take interest in learning what business your partner was doing. You don't take interest in learning anything about his life. You just know that he's going to come home, you'll give me money, I'll go to the shops, I'll do this, I'll do that. So and so has bought this shoe, I'll buy it, they bought Louis Vuitton, they bought Gucci, I'll do that. That's all you do. I will travel, I'll go to Maldives, I'll go to this place, I'll do that. For the gram. That's what we do. That's what these young girls do. But they forget that tomorrow the blesser might not be there. Then what happens? You go back to the village. You go back to your mother's house.
Right.
Some of them don't even have brains if they're given money to save that money. That is that they've not worked for. But because you don't have education, even if someone gave you $100,000, the first thing you think of is going shopping.
Splurge, right.
Instead of saving it, start a small business of your own. Do something that, can give you your own money. You don't have to be asking for money every day for everything. You don't have to be doing that.
You really seem like you have a lot to give out, especially to the girl child. What other way are you giving back to the society?
Here and there, when I have time or when I get opportunities, I speak to young girls, I try to mentor them, I try to guide them on how to live their lives, I try to guide them on what businesses they can start up businesses and things like that when I'm given the opportunity.
Right.
I do. I would like to speak more to the girl child when there are opportunities like platforms like that where you can advise on how to start up your own business, on how to after, it's not about starting it up. When you start up, what then? How to sustain it, I know it's very difficult. Some people, they fall. I've got this policy, you can fall 100 times. What is important is after falling, rise again and start again.
Are you into any charity work?
Yes, there's some charity organizations that we've partnered with as a company that we give to every now and again when we can. Yeah.
As we wrap up this conversation, Zodwa, how can people access your services as Traverze? Where can they find you, and how do they get hold of you? Okay,
our offices are located number 1 Kenny Close, Avondale, behind DSTV. We've got a website, www.traverzetravel.co.zw. Yes, and then we've got offices also at the airport, at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport. We've got offices there, but they can reach us 24/7. We don't work, we don't sleep. We operate 24/7. So even 12 midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., if you've got a need, you can call our offices. Someone is going to
as long as it's
answer
business
you.
Related.
As long as business related, yes.
And that's it from us this week here on The Champions. Thank you so much for being with us here on The Champions. And we also want to thank our sponsors, Amtech Motors, Binomi, Rossum Properties, Crystal Lodge, as well as Adam Beat for making it possible for us to celebrate the champions that are within our midst. I'm Elisa Dube. I'll see you next time.